Hello and welcome to another anime lore and theory video. I'm Shergog, your host, and today we are going to take a closer look at the mysterious inventor of the doll that almost eliminated Rudeus. But before we're going to do so, let me quickly thank my Patreons for supporting this channel, and say my special thanks to all users of the YouTube thanks function for making one-time donations. And with that said, let's get to the topic at hand. And let's start here with the house Rudy chose, because the entire house is also connected to the mysterious doll and its mysterious creator. It's far away from the city center and its bustling activity, and was selected by Rudy through a neutral broker, just like in the anime. The reason everything is so official and regulated is that the three magical nations in the north jointly administer the city and the Academy of Ranoa, and therefore a joint authority funded by all three realms also regulates the rental of apartments and the sale of houses, simply to avoid any potential conflict. And prior to stating his name, Rudy was treated fairly normally by the broker, until he used his name and that of Bardigadi and the Princess Ariel to qualify for the house purchase. This caused the employees to treat him very differently, and because he wanted to take on the cursed house, which had remained uninhabited for a century, since the last adventurer team, which still had been rookies, were found dead the next morning after they tried to investigate whatever haunts the mansion, and because of his connections, Rudy also received a hefty discount of half the price. The documents where he had used Princess Ariel's name were also the reason why Sylvie later found out about Rudy's house purchase before it was even renovated or presented to her, simply because Princess Ariel has the best connections and was aware of her name being used by Rudy. And that brings us to the doll and the horror story. And Zanoba breaking the door of the house was no coincidence either, because it was completely jammed and wouldn't open unless damaged. That's also why the automatic doll couldn't leave the house anymore. It would normally patrol the garden and then return to the house as well. But since the door was closed, and it was supposed to maintain the house without damaging it, it had to abandon her route through the garden. This is also why Rudy and his group didn't immediately run into the doll once it had emerged from its hidden room in the basement, as it was still in the garden, and then it returned to the house, where the fight took place. This is also why the group had been caught off guard and attacked from behind, because normally the group had advanced with Zanoba at the front, Cliff in the middle, and with Rudy at the back, acting as a rear guard. And with that said, the question then arises, if modern smartphones break fairly easily and can hold up for half a day of gaming or a day of normal activity, why did the doll function for 100 years and more? Well, firstly, it wasn't in tip-top condition anymore, but had sustained some damage over time. Parts of its arm were missing, leading Rudy to believe it had a stabbing weapon attached to it, and other body parts were also damaged to a lesser degree as well. But since the loading mechanism, as well as its more vital components, were still located inside of the sturdy body, it was still intact. And we will come back to all of this later. Anyway, because the basement had a sort of casket where the doll could return after completing her duty of cleaning and protecting the house. And naturally, this duty of patrolling and securing the perimeter of the house consumed her mana. But just like, for example, the monuments for the 7 great powers in the world of Mushoku Tensei, which function through mana absorption from the environment, the casket within the basement acts as a sort of mana sponge as well, absorbing mana from the surrounding air and area, storing it, and then recharging the doll when it returns from the patrol. So basically it acts like some kind of docking station for a well-armed Roomba. And finally, it's worth mentioning that due to Zanoba's interest in dolls, he developed an almost intuitive understanding of the drawings and sketches within the mysterious book that the 3 ghost hunters found, even if he didn't understand the language of the books. Oh, and even Rudeus Greyrat, who knew several languages by this point, couldn't read the script either. And from here on, these spoilers begin. As I said in another video, the Technic God created these stones, these monuments, and placed himself at the very top of the ranking of the 7 great powers, in the hope of attracting strong opponents, whose techniques he could learn and pass on. And much like Orsted, he was also a member of the Dragon Folk. And we can also see here that the book that Zanoba found had a seal that strongly resembled that crest of Orsted and of Perugius. And that is simply because the previous owner of Rudeus' house was none other than Mad Dragon God Chaos, someone as important as Perugius or Laplace. His seal was also found on other parts of the building, such as the fireplace in the house, which was protected by magical circuits and circles. And as Zanoba said, Chaos was a true genius when it came to magical circles and automated doors, because unlike the flat two-dimensional circles that Nanahoshi and Cliff work on and study, these circles are three-dimensional and extend through various parts of the doll's body to control the doll and establish its behavior pattern and routines. In other words, these magical circles function like a programming language, such as Python. And by the way, when I first read this story, there were neither humanoid robots like those from Boston Dynamics nor ChatGPT around. And it still amazes me that we are now here, in just a few years, at the same level of AI as Rudy and Zanoba and Cliff. We have the basics, but like them, we still can't build robot mates. But we seem to be on a good path towards it, and had already discovered this great breakthrough that allows us to advance. So anyway, these were the things that the anime has left out in regards to the house purchase and of course in regards to the doll. And there was a whole lot more about the renovation itself, but maybe this will still be shown in the next episode. So anyway, with that said, this is it for today and now it's your turn. What do you think about the doll, AI, and the additional lore and backstory? Let me know it down in the comment section. And while you type, I say thank you very much for watching and special thanks to Other Daddy Other, ASK, Bad Guy Yi, Bad Burrito 316, Beezer, Ben C, Brandon D, Chrissy, Crowley 0221, Sia, Crystal Prime, Dead Slime, Death is Mercy, Deathless Dragonlord, Demon Xenomorph 1987, Devin Downen, Ding Dong, Dragonlord Placido Saxophone, Duckwagon, Dunkler Krieger, Dystopia, Dystopia II, Enigmatic Unicorn, Feral Shivan, Guy with That Head, Hector Marino, Hoss, Huster, Jacob G, Jana B, Jason, J. Morris, Chromius, Kyle R, Lee K. Long, Legendarius, Lelouch Britannia with a Mustache, Lexus Fox, Lord Nishikian Rai, Lord Touch Me, Loverazor, Merovec, Mr. Shoes, Mr. Tweaker, Michael R, Michael Y, Nope, Oh Hell No, Normal Toad, O'Kill, Overlord General Gasper, Paddy Pantom, Personage, Primus 11, Rhinomere, Kyone Karakos P, Shergox's Daddy, Shadow Lightning Wolf, Shrine Keeper, Sir Axolotl, Super Tier Magic Batista Bomb, Supreme Cheese, Staris, Ted, Texas Deer, The Orc Warboss, Rock Ed Smasher, T.E. Wang, Vash Hawkeye, Vegito 27, Venture Fanatic, Wilhelm, Xenokai, and Zonagon. Thanks guys. Anyway, have a nice day, and I hope to see you all again soon on my next video.